Welcome to Dr Joe Unplugged. This podcast contains general information and is not in any way medical advice. The relentless march of the nanny state into the minutiae of people's lives continues unabated. Quote, Western Australia will ban ham and cheese sandwiches from school canteens with the lunch meal classed as red under new dietary rules. This is on a traffic light system of red, amber and green. Ham and cheese toasties were previously rated green, while a plain ham sandwich was classified as amber but was allowed to be sold every day. Now ham has been taken off the menu, hit with a red classification. This is absolutely without any basis in reality, in as much as the low-fat dietary guidelines introduced without any evidence in the 1980s, not only haven't been a success, but have seen a significant increase in problems with overweight and obesity. Why? Because we get rid of foods that people traditionally ate and replace them with processed carbohydrates. So if there is a problem with ham and cheese sandwiches, it's not the ham or the cheese, it's the bread. But is it okay to have a couple of slices of bread as a sandwich? Then the answer to that one is yes. But there are two major issues with this. Number one, that the government is interfering with the food choices, which is a responsibility of parents. Number two, that it is based on a flawed system. Now, there may be some guidelines, in inverted commas, that can be usefully applied in school canteens, and that might include not selling soft drink. Fair enough. It's reasonable if parents want to give children a soft drink. You can do that at home, and for those who've heard me speak previously, it is something to have as a treat, certainly not for every day. The best drink for children is water. Best drink for adults as well. So there isn't a need for school canteens to sell soft drinks. There's not a need for them to sell lollies either. These can be treats at home. They don't need to be had in the middle of the day at school. But ham and cheese sandwiches, now we're talking about something completely different. And what are we going to have in its place? Muesli bar? An up-and-go drink? Something else with a high sugary content that gets ticks or stars or elephant stamps from the powers that be? Two key issues in this. Number one, food choices for children are the domain and responsibility of parents. Now, some of you out there might say, look, not all parents get every choice right. No, they don't. But they're more likely to get it right than a government with a one-size-fits-all approach and agenda. Parents have responsibilities for their own children and also guardians in that regard for people in their care. Number two, it's all just muddle-headed, completely muddle-headed. If you wanted, as I said before, if you wanted to have a crack at ham and cheese sandwiches, you'd probably say, well, get rid of the bread because of the amount of refined carbohydrate, not the ham or the cheese. Should we live on ham and cheese alone? No. Should we be eating it 3 times a day? Again, obviously the answer to that one is no. Now, I think it's worth, before we finish up, just pointing out the reason, or the official reason behind this, is a completely discredited work that was put out by the WHO nearly a decade ago, talking about increased risks in cancer in people who ate processed meats. That includes ham and salamis and a number of, and bacon and a whole number of other foods. Now, that people may get bowel cancer and that they may eat some of these foods from time to time does not and has not and did not establish any cause and effect relationship. And the statistical correlation was something less than 0.8%, something in that order. Can't remember the exact number, but it was minuscule. And certainly a child having a ham and cheese toasty, even if it's 2 or 3 times a week with a slice of ham, that's not going to in any way, shape or form significantly affect one way or the other the chance of getting cancer later in life. So essentially this is, again, the nanny state, bureaucrats looking for something to do, the intrusion of the state into the lives of parents and children. Really, it's up to us as citizens to start to push back against the relentless march of the nanny state. Thanks for listening to Dr Joe Unplugged. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe, like and share. You can also follow it on all the socials. There'll be new content uploaded each week.